Hello, welcome back to Simon's Rants. I'm Simon, and today I'm giving my first thoughts, spoiler-free, on Spider-Man No Way Home.
Well, that was a movie.
If you want my spoiler reaction, I did a spoiler talk at the theater that I'm going to be posting right after this, so you can click up there for it, or down below. I will have that linked both places, and you can go watch that and hear me talk about all the little plot intricacies and plot holes and whatever else fun fan service things that happened all down there. I'm not going to be talking about anything to do with the plot or anything in this review. I'm just going to be giving a bare bones review, my first thoughts, so you can know, was it good, was it bad, was it somewhere in between. So, yes, it was good. That's what I'm going to start with. I enjoyed it a lot. Was it a perfect movie? No. Was it near perfect? Not really, but it was really, really fun, and that's what it aimed to be. I don't think this was trying to win Best Screenplay. I don't think this was trying to reinvent the wheel in any way. What it was trying to do was give the fans an entertaining ride. Give the fans what they believed the fans wanted. And I think it did that for the most part. I think going into it, there may be some things you were expecting to see that you didn't see. But I think there's also a lot of things that will keep you very entertained. So like I said, it's not a perfect movie. I think when you compare this to the other two, it might be the most poorly written of the three, but I also found it to be the most enjoyable of the three. So take that however you want to. The main reason I actually enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming, the first of this trilogy, was that it had clever writing. You know, you had plot twist. You had that whole Michael Keaton thing, being the father of the love interest, and nobody saw that coming for multiple reasons. One of which being that it was just a clever twist, and the other being that there was a skin color thing that a lot of people didn't see coming there. And this didn't have clever writing like that. Like, it didn't really have anything that took me by surprise in any way, but it was fun. The second one didn't have as clever writing either, but it had some of the best action I've seen in any superhero movie ever, let alone just Spider-Man movies. And once again, this didn't have that. There was a lot of action. I mean, it's a superhero movie. There's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts, a lot of fast motion, and a lot of action and loud stuff going on, but it wasn't as easy to follow, nor as entertaining or as focused as it was in Spider-Man Far From Home. So this doesn't do anything as well as the other two did, yet it was, like I said, the most entertaining of the three. Why is that? Because it was fun. It knew what it wanted to be. This was to get from point A to point B in the story, and it got us there, and it was a fun trip. This is the last part in this trilogy. We've talked before, I hope this isn't a spoiler to anybody, but they've talked before about trying to move the MCU and move Spider-Man in a different direction after this, and this got us there. It got us ready to start a new trilogy, supposedly. So we went from point A to point B in a very direct, abrupt line. Like, nothing in this movie made a whole lot of sense. Like, it was like things are happening for the sake of it happening. We're not going to try explaining it, because the more we do, the dumber it sounds, but we're just going to show you we're going. We're going from A to B to eventually C, and we're going on that trip, we're following it, and you may be tempted to stop and say, hey, this doesn't make sense, or hey, what about this, or what's going on over here? Don't do that. Just enjoy it for what it is. In my spoiler talk, I did it with my friend Justin, and we ended up putting it together as a very well said thing, I think, of it had an enjoyable rating of 8.5. As a film critic, I would rate it more as a 6 or a 6.5. So it's like you kind of have to gauge what are you going into this movie for, because the inner movie critic will be a little bit harsher on it. Still enjoy it, but it will be a little bit harsher on it. But the inner fan will enjoy the crap out of this movie. So what are you going to go as? I think most people will be going as a fan, because that's who this movie is made for. This movie wasn't made for the critics. Like I said, it's not going to win a prize. It's not going to win an award. It's not going for that. It may win like a Fan's Choice Award, but it's not going to win an Oscar, and it doesn't want to. It wants to be recognized as one of the best fan service movies of all time, and I think it's up there. there. And I'm not a big fan service guy normally. I hated Star Wars Force Awakens. Not my thing. Don't like it when you shove stuff down my throat just because you think that I want to see it. This movie doesn't do it that way. It's got fan service, and it's doing a lot of winking and nodding to the camera, but it does it elegantly. And I did say it has the poorest writing of the trilogy, but the writing when just having conversations or having funny moments, this movie was probably the funniest of the three. It had a lot of jokes. Not all of them worked, but most of them did. It just had a very natural flow to it as soon as it got into what it was doing. It took a minute to get there, and then it kind of had a couple of tripping points, a couple of snags that it made it slow down and made you kind of think, like, what's going on here? But if you ignore those probably like 3 or 4 moments, it was streamlined, it was fun, it was exciting, funny, and well acted. I mean, the cast is all good. The cast is always good. Tom Holland, not my personal favorite Spider-Man, but he's a perfectly fine Spider-Man. Zendaya is a very talented actress, and she does very well in this movie. And then you've got, the reoccurring characters and cameos, like the teachers, the janitor. They're hilarious. They're not in it very much, but when they are, it is hilarious. And, Flash Thompson, everybody is like, it's all of these, Aunt May, Happy, everybody is good. You've got all of this great cast returning, and they're all good as always. So, I mean, there's nothing really to hate about this movie. It may make you roll your eyes a few times. It may make you cringe a couple of times, but that's part of the appeal. It is not trying to be a clever movie. It's just a fun movie. So that's why I did think spoiler free. I know this was short. It was to the point. There's not a whole lot you can say about this movie without getting into the spoilers. So if you would like to see my spoiler talk, you can, like I said, go ahead and click on that. I will have that up as well. And if you don't want anything spoiled, you should go watch the movie first. I totally recommend it. I think that it's a lot of fun for any Spider-Man fan. I think you will enjoy it. So go watch it and then come back and watch that spoiler talk. Thanks, guys. Bye.